Trade wars and the WTO. Impact on global markets and the role of WTO. Presentation overview. This presentation will cover the basics of trade wars, including their causes and recent examples of disputes. We would also provide an overview of the role of the WTO in resolving trade disputes and how it functions. Trade wars. Causes of trade wars. Trade wars occur when countries disagree on trade policies such as tariffs or subsidies and impose retaliatory measures on each other. This can lead to chain reaction of trade barriers that disrupt global supply chains and economic growth. Impact of trade wars. Trade wars can have a significant impact on businesses and consumers, leading to higher prices, reduced trade, and economic uncertainty. They can also disrupt global supply chains, causing delays and shortages. Trade disputes. There have been several high profile trade disputes in recent years, including the US China trade war, the US Canada dairy dispute, and the EU US Airbus Boeing dispute. These disputes have had significant impacts on global trade and economic growth. What is a trade war? A trade war is a conflict between two or more countries over trade issues such as tariffs, subsidies, or intellectual property rights. It can have serious consequences for global markets and negatively impact economies worldwide. Tariffs. Tariffs are taxes imposed by governments on imported goods. In a trade war, countries may impose higher tariffs as a way to protect domestic industries from foreign competition, but this can lead to trade retaliation and cause economic damage. Causes of trade wars. Protectionist policies. Protectionist policies are measures taken by governments to protect domestic industries from foreign competition. While they can provide short term benefits, they can also lead to trade wars and harm global trade. Unfair trade practices. Unfair trade practices such as dumping and intellectual property violations can harm domestic industries and lead to trade disputes between countries. Geopolitical tensions. Geopolitical tensions such as territorial disputes and political conflicts can lead to trade wars and disrupt global trade. Examples of trade war. US China trade war. The US China trade war is one of the most high profile trade disputes in recent years, with the US imposing tariffs on Chinese imports and China retaliating with tariffs on its own. This dispute has had a significant impact on global markets and has led to increased tensions between the two countries. US Canada dairy dispute. The US Canada dairy dispute is another high profile trade dispute, with the US accusing Canada of using unfair trade practices to block US dairy imports. This dispute has led to increased tensions between the two countries and has had an impact on global dairy market. Historical examples of trade wars. Trade wars have been a part of global commerce for centuries. Historical examples include the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930, which led to a decline in international trade and worsened the Great Depression, and the Opium Wars between China and Britain in the 19th century. Role of the WTO. Functions of the WTO. The World Trade Organization has several functions, including promoting free trade, negotiating new trade agreements, monitoring national trade policies, providing technical assistance and training for developing countries, and enforcing WTO rules. Role of the WTO in promoting global trade. The WTO is a key player in promoting global trade by ensuring that trade flows smoothly, predictably, and freely as possible between member countries, which helps to boost economic growth and create jobs. Resolving trade disputes. The WTO provides a forum for member countries to resolve trade disputes through its dispute settlement mechanism, which is designed to ensure that disputes are resolved in a fair, impartial, and timely manner. What is the WTO? Regulating global trade. The WTO is responsible for regulating and promoting global trade. It helps ensure that trade flows as smoothly, predictably, and freely as possible. Negotiating trade agreements. The World Trade Organization provides a forum for member countries to negotiate trade agreements which help to facilitate trade and reduce barriers to trade. Resolving trade disputes. The WTO helps member countries resolve trade disputes through a dispute settlement mechanism. This mechanism helps reduce the risk of trade wars and promotes fair trade practices. Functions of the WTO. Negotiating and implementing trade agreements. The WTO negotiates and implements trade agreements between member countries, helping to promote free trade and economic growth. Providing technical assistance and training to developing countries. The WTO provides technical assistance and training to developing countries, helping them to participate more fully in the global trading system. Monitoring trade policies of member countries. The World Trade Organization monitors the trade policies of member countries, ensuring that they adhere to the rules of the global trading system and do not engage in unfair trade practices. How the WTO resolves trade disputes. Dispute Settlement Mechanism. The WTO Dispute Settlement Mechanism is a process designed to help member countries resolve trade disputes in a fair and impartial manner. Dispute Resolution Process. The dispute resolution process involves consultations, mediation, and adjudication stages and is designed to promote stability and predictability in global trade. Promoting stability and predictability in global trade. The World Trade Organization dispute settlement mechanism helps to promote stability and predictability in international trade by providing a forum for resolving disputes and ensuring that members abide by agreed upon trade rules. Conclusion. The WTO plays a crucial role in resolving trade disputes and promoting free trade, ensuring that global markets remain stable and predictable. By enforcing rules and regulations, the WTO helps prevent trade wars that can have serious consequences for businesses and consumers alike. Thank you.